Okay. Now we're going to set up our cutting tool. This is the cutting tool we use to cut counterbores on ISXs. It's a self-centering cutting tool. When you put it in here, it'll self-center. See, I've got the center touching the counterbore now. So I put this down, move it side to side. See how smooth it is? That means there's a flat surface. It's true. It's where it needs to be. Then we put these bolts in. We run the bolts down. That's a nice gun, by the way. See, I can hold this up. That's adjustable. That's so that I can torque these down. So I'll torque this down to 20 foot-pounds. I lift up the cutting bit, put this spacer in, set it back down. Now I gotta set the bit. Come over here. Pull the bit out. Needs to go a little further. Stick your filler gauge in. Bit. Tighten it down. Looks good. Feels good. Not binding. You have to get the proper setting on the bit to make sure that you don't cut your counterbore wrong. And then you start your cutting. You go on 1/1000th at a time. When you first do the first cut, you'll feel it's more than likely going to be uneven. And it's because that's the reason why you're cutting your counterbore, because it's not true anymore. So this tool will cut it true again, and it'll give the liner something flat and true to sit on. And you keep cutting until you get to the specified point. On my tool here, I have marks that I go by, because as I'm cutting, I'm measuring. You measure your depth with a depth micrometer. I have a couple of them. I have a real fancy digital one. I like using this one. It's not digital, but it has a digital readout. This is my favorite one because it's really accurate. And I've also modified it so I can get more pinpoint readings. So usually when you're cutting counterbores on your mark settings, you're always coming to the same point on your markings. But before you get to that point, you always measure, because sometimes, occasionally, because the deck may not be totally true or whatever, you may get a reading that's maybe a thou off or a half a thou off, and you want to make it as even as possible, because sometimes on your tool you will be a thou difference. This tool is actually really good. I've been getting the same numbers on both sides. It cuts pretty true. As they wear, of course, that'll change. That's a fairly new tool.